Shut up before I punch you in the face, because I would. Like, get out. Get out. What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel again. So, I took a 6-month sabbatical for personal reasons because I was lazy and did not have the motivation to do anything. Working on that because why not? Always better yourself. So my leggings are past my belly button. This is my belly button right here, and this is the top of my pants. Get over yourselves, because also they're slimming and I look awesome. So get over it. Back to the video, and not about my life that's been going on for the past couple months. We're gonna start off with a story time. Well, first of all, okay, I'm kind of sick right now. Like, I feel like crap. Super congested. Took a shower, trying to decongest, but my nose is done for. But so today, in this video, I'm going to tell you about some, like, stories about quitting jobs, and also just some other work stories, because I know I've done a work stories video, but I'm going to do another one. And also, to anybody who's like, yeah, go, do your videos again, thank you. Anybody who's like, nah, you ain't cool, like, you're not funny. Okay, I'm going to do it anyway. Really hard to keep it all straight, because there were a couple times where I would like have 2 jobs and then quit one job and stay with one job and then have another second job. Like, it got really confusing. So if I get any of this confused, I'm sorry. My job history is just really confusing. So this dude was crazy and like psycho, and I had a not relationship, but I had hung out with one of the guys that I had worked with at Noodles. And he was getting really jealous, and I was like, okay, you know what, I'm just going to quit. It's going to be fine. It's going to be cool, whatever. So I ended up talking to my assistant general manager, and we'll call her Lane. So I went to Lane, and I was like, hey, you know, I'm going to talk to the boss tomorrow. We'll call him Jerry. So I was telling Lane, you know, I'm going to talk to Jerry tomorrow. I'm going to let him know everything that's going on. I'm going to let him know that I'm putting in my 2 weeks. I go in the next day, and, you know, Jerry's not there yet. So I'm talking to another manager. I was a shift lead at this point. And I was talking to another manager. He was like, oh, yeah, Lane told Jerry that you were going to quit. Like, she already told him. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. So I go outside, have a cigarette with Jerry, and I'm talking to him, and I'm like, all right, I know you already know, but I'm putting in my 2 weeks. Like, I really like it here. It's just too far for me. I was making excuses because crazy man was convincing. Whatever. So anyways, I was telling him all this, and he was like, okay, yeah, I know, she already told me. And I looked at him, and I was like, I just think it's very unprofessional that she didn't give me the common courtesy to come to you, to myself, when I had the chance to talk to you face to face, because I didn't yesterday, and let you know that I'm putting in my 2 weeks. Like, I don't think that's fair. He was like, you're right, that's not. I'm going to have a talk to her. I'm going to have a talk with her about it. So about a week later, I'm out in Waddy, Kentucky with Butthole, and we're hanging out there, and I was like, oh, I have to go. Like, I have to get back to work. He's like, well, I don't want to drive you, so you should just quit. And, you know, he convinced me, and I was like, yeah, you know what, I should just quit. I shouldn't go in, da-da-da-da. And so I called them, and I said, hey, I was in an accident, like, I'm not coming in, like, I was in a fender bender, and, you know, I know it's wrong to lie, but, oops. But so, later on, Lane was being really nasty to me over text, and so I texted her, and I was like, you know what, since you don't like to keep your big mouth shut, I'll let you know first. Go ahead and tell Jerry that I'm not coming in anymore, because I know you tell him before I would have the chance to. So keep in mind, I did also work there a second time. So while I was working at Noodles, you know, the first time, I also had started working at Waffle House the second time. And while I was working at Noodles, there was one day a face painter came in, and it was like Christmas time. It was like holidays, so they were like celebrating Christmas and everything. And this face painter comes in, and we're all joking. We're like, oh, let's all go get her face painted. Me, being an idiot, I actually did it. I had my face painted like a tiger, and I looked awesome. Okay, I looked fantastic. And as I was cooking, my bosses were like, oh, is that going to drip into the food? I was like, no. Like, it's fine. It's okay. Like, it wasn't really that hot that day, so I wasn't sweating. Like, it wasn't, like, I genuinely mean it could not get in the food. Like, this was quality face paint, like, was not coming off. Like, so as we're like getting busier and stuff, one of my bosses looks at me. He's like, Sarah, how much for you to quit Waffle House right now? How much an hour for you to quit Waffle House right now? And I was making like $8 an hour, and I was really nervous when he said that. And I go, $9 an hour. He's like, done. So he goes to the back and he gets my $9 an hour approved. I was working at Waffle House right after this because they wanted me to stay later. I was like, I have to work at Waffle House, and that's why he was like, how much for you to quit Waffle House? So I ended up being late for my shift at Waffle House. I still went, and I walk up to my manager while my face is painted, and I looked at him and I said, hey, Roger, just so you know, I am gonna be putting in my week's notice because I'm not working for another 2 weeks. Like, I can only work 1 week. He was like, oh. And I think he was just really shocked because my face was painted like a tiger. So it was just, I feel like that was the most interesting quitting story he's gonna have either. But I don't know, because the man works for Waffle House, so you never know. Most people know I have worked at Spinellis Pizza, which love Spinellis. Great place, great people. I will say, the first time that I technically got fired from Spinellis, but I was also on my way to quitting, so I don't know, because I had 2 jobs. I was working at Noodles Company and I was working at Spinellis, and I was working most times I was working doubles at Noodles except for the weekends, because Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday I would work first shift at Noodles, second shift at the East End Spinellis, third shift at the downtown Spinellis, and then there's like a 3 or 4 hour window between closing Spinellis and opening Noodles. Dear God, your girl did it. I did it for a hot minute. Okay, I basically had 3 jobs, and I was killing it. And there was one day where I called my general manager of my store, and I was like, Fleener, like, I really can't come in today. It was a Sunday, so I knew we were gonna be slow. It's like, I can't come in today. Like, I'm really sorry. I apologize. Like, you know, can anybody cover my shift? He never responded. I passed out. Like, this was the last day of my last, like, 4 shifts, or 4 days of shifts. And I was exhausted. I was tired. I was like, I cannot. And so I just go unconscious. And throughout the day, I'm getting phone calls from the East End Spinellis, because that's where I'm supposed to be. And finally, they're just like, I'm sorry. Like, the last message was like, I'm sorry, Sarah, but you didn't show up today. No call, no show. I have to let you go. Which, keep in mind, I had been working there for over a year, and that was my first no call, no show. And that was my first, like, mistake or anything. So, that's a terrible company policy to have. Just 1 no call, no show after a year. Whatever. And then my general manager trying to get it overturned, because I'm a really good worker. Like, I work really hard. And the CEO was just like, no. Like, she's gone. So, that's how I got fired at Spinellis, for being too good of a worker. Sorry. Okay, so now on to Noodles the second time. Because when I quit Noodles the second time, there were a lot of problems going on. Like, managers were fighting, like, verbally arguing. Like, it was getting really bad. And I really love the company. I love the food. I love the people. Like, I mean, the food is phenomenal, okay? I always brag about the food. But I will say that management at that time was terrible. And nobody really got along. Everybody argued, and it was just getting more and more intense. And then, you know, I'm trying to let the, like, teenagers know, like, specific things they can't do. Because I was on Dish. So I'm on Dish, and they're bringing all these dishes back and everything. And I'm like, hold up. You all have to rinse these out. Like, you all can't just leave this stuff in here. This is ridiculous. And I said a cuss word. Okay. And my manager comes back. He's like, okay, you can't talk to them that way. Like, because, you know, I was getting aggravated, but this is also the way that all the managers talk to them. So I was like, what? That's funny. So I was just getting so frustrated and all this stuff, and finally, that night, I was like, okay, you know what? If I don't come back in 5 minutes, I'm gone. I quit. I was smoking a cigarette, and the manager comes out, and he's like, hey, can you hop on, like, he was talking to somebody else, and he's like, hey, can you hop on Dish? And the guy's like, yeah. And I was like, oh, okay, so I quit. So, but yeah, don't get hostile and everything and be jerks to everybody. And then when I actually am trying to be, like, you know, like, you can't do this. This is what we're taught not to do. Tell me that I'm speaking disrespectfully. Like, first of all, one of you all were the ones screaming in another manager's face and yelling in front of everybody. And second of all, I know of multiple people in this area who have walked out on a shift. That's beside the point, because I still love that manager. The manager is still a great human being. I don't agree with what happened that day, but either way, like, I don't, think less of him. He is still a great human being. He was there for a really long time, and he worked his butt off, and now he's in a much better place, and congratulations to you. You know who you are, because even though I don't agree with you on that day, I still love you. You and your girl, like, y'all will always be in my heart. Love you. Now we're gonna delve a little bit into Thorntons' life. Okay, working there. I became the food service manager. And being the food service manager, if you know what that is, that's where the person makes all the burritos and the sandwiches in the morning and all that kind of stuff. And like the burgers and hot dogs and all that at lunchtime. That's what I was, and I was in charge of doing inventory and ordering food and ordering cups. I was in charge of a lot. Like, if you go into Thorntons, imagine everything over by the coffee and the drink station where you make your own drink. I have to order that. I have to order a majority of that. So pretty much anything that is not in a package. To keep count of all of it, I had to do, there was a lot to it. And I had to put it into the database, and I had to make sure everything was prepped and made sure that tomorrow when I walked in it wasn't going to be a mess. Enough about my job description. So while working there, I was going on a family vacation, and I go on this vacation every year. It's my family reunion. I love going on my family reunion. It is my favorite part of the year, and if you don't know that about me, it is literally my favorite part of the year. I love seeing my family, especially the ones from all across the states, because we come together for 1 week and we just have so much fun. So I was getting ready to go on this family vacation. My parents and all the rest of my family had already left. They were already in Missouri. That's where we were meeting that year. My phone was broken. I had to get my new phone working before I left, which was at my parents' house, which I went through 3 phones. So the first one, actually that's another, no. So the first one kept overheating, and I would literally have to shove it in my air vent in my car just to make it work. It was ridiculous. I would literally put it, my aunt was sitting there and watch this happen while driving to my brother's wedding. It was so terrible. I had to shove it in my air vent and put the air on max AC and full blast cold and blow it into my phone just so it would cool off enough for me to figure out where I'm going. So then the second one, the speaker didn't work. You couldn't hear me half the time. And the third one, this was the third one. Okay, the third one finally came in, and I had to get it ready before I actually drove. So I got into work at Thorntons at 2 a.m. Early. Okay, I didn't have to be there until 5 a.m. So I got there 3 hours early to make sure all my stuff was done, make sure I was doing it all. That was the day that I was doing everything. I was doing 2 weeks worth of counts. I was doing 2 weeks worth of inventory and all that, because I kind of had it down pat. And, it's getting to be 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. I get off, I think at 4 o'clock is when I got off. So I was trying to be on the road by I was trying to be on the road by 4. And, I was trying to be off by 2, so I was going to work full 12 hours, which normally I work 8, okay? So I was working an extra 4 hours. And I was getting really behind, and I was trying to get everything done, and I was trying to ask for help, and nobody would help me. And finally, I was sitting at the computer trying to put my inventory in, and my store manager comes in. He's like, Sarah, you need to do all this. I'm doing this as a favor to you, so you don't have to do it while I'm gone. Because if I didn't do it right now, it wouldn't get done. And who would get yelled at? You. And he said, no, actually you would get yelled at because it's your responsibility. And I looked at him and I said, I shouldn't say his name actually. And I said, Donald, this is not my responsibility if I'm on vacation. If I literally have a week blocked out, nothing is my responsibility while I am on vacation. I am doing this as a favor to you. This is not my responsibility. And I'm getting worked up, and I'm like, just leave me alone. I need to do my work and all this stuff. So I walk out of the office, and I go into my kitchen, and I'm, fixing everything, and he's still, he follows me in there, and he's, gabbing in my ear, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this, and I looked at him, and I said, Donald, I know what I need to do. I know exactly what I need to do, and I'm trying to do that, but I can't do that with you talking in my ear. So can I please do my job? And he started yelling at me, saying, you're not doing your job, you can't, literally yelling. So I'm getting frustrated. When I get frustrated, I cry a lot. So I walked past him, walked into the back, and I was just standing in the back room, just kind of crying, just trying to collect myself. And then about a minute later, he comes to the back, and I'm like I am breathing heavy. I'm so frustrated. I am exhausted. I have to fix my phone. I have to go for a 6-hour drive. Like, I was on one. So I'm in the back, like, letting some tears out, and he comes in the back, and he just stares at me, like, with crazy eyes. And I looked at him and I said, Donald, please leave me alone. Like, I cannot deal with this right now. I'm trying to do my work, but I can't do it. Like, you are frustrating me. And he goes, I'm frustrating you? Yes, you are! And so I literally, like, walked out the back door, and I slammed it. And it's a heavy door, so when it slams, it slams. And I'm pretty sure I hit him in the face because he was trying to, like, follow me. So I literally just went out into the back, started smoking a cigarette, and I was like, you know what? Screw this. And I left. I just straight left. And so, actually, no, I clocked out, and then I left. And so, as I was on the road, like, I had gotten home, I had gotten my phone turned on and, like, fixed and everything. I got my new phone working, which is the phone I have now. And, you know, I get a text message, and it's Donald, and he's just like, you know, that was very disrespectful. You shouldn't have done that. And I texted him back. I said, you were the one yelling at me. I was trying to get my work done. Like, I've already called Seymour, which will make his boss. I already called Seymour and let him know what happened, and, like, I went off. And he was like, okay, you know what, we'll have a conversation about this whenever you come back. And I said, no, we won't. Probably texted me while I was on vacation about the situation. And I said, I'm on vacation. I have no responsibility to you anymore. I do not work there anymore. I straight told him, I was like, I don't work there anymore. So that was the time that I quit Thorntons. Just adding these on just in case we do have some experts on, because your girl has a lot of stories. When I was 16, my first job was Waffle House. And while working at Waffle House, it was during the summer, and actually I turned 16 while working there, so I could finally work third shift. So while working third shift, it was my last shift. I had given them my 2 weeks notice, and it was my last shift ever. And I remember I had Miss Tracy and Miss Billy. They were my girls. And they were like my second moms. And there was one night we were all working together. So my last shift, like I said, third shift, and this rowdy group of drunk old men comes in. And, you know, I'm their waitress, I'm serving them, I'm doing really well. And all of a sudden they start getting grabby, and they start getting, like, really inappropriate. And, you know, Tracy has to, like, pull me away because they keep trying to ask for stuff, and she's like, you need to go in the back. You need to go sit in the back until this table leaves because they won't stop harassing you. You are 16 years old. I am not having that on my conscience. I said, yes, Miss Tracy. And I literally had to sit in the back of Waffle House for like an hour and a half because my table was harassing me too much. Like, why? If you're like 58 years old, like got gray hair and shit, you should not be hitting on a 16-year-old, especially when she's made it very obvious that she's 16 by telling you she is 16. Okay, you know, if you want to go out and you want to flirt with like a 28-year-old or something, or you want to flirt with somebody who is legal, that's fine. Shut up before I punch you in the face, because I would. Oh my gosh, it's so weird to think about, because when I was younger, like, I loved when older men gave me attention, and now I'm just like, no, like, I cannot believe, oh, Sarah made so many bad decisions in her life, and I'm so sorry, Mom and Dad. You created a very weird monster. I don't know what I am. Okay, so, on the topic of old men, when I worked at Spinellis, I was like 16, I was between 16 and 18. I started when I was 16, and then like a week later I turned 17, so between 17 and 18. And while I worked there, it was New Year's Eve, and there was this guy, Matt, he was like 28 or something, I don't know. But so he worked there, and his brother was up there visiting or whatever, and we were all hanging out, we were watching the ball drop in the dining room at midnight on New Year's Eve. And all of a sudden, Matt's brother pulls me in and kisses me as my New Year's Eve kiss. Matt wanted to kiss me for New Year's Eve. And it was so funny. So, Matt, always remember your brother stole your New Year's Eve kiss from me. Alright guys, well, that's all the time we got this week because your girl gotta go to work. So I hope you all like, subscribe. I might have been entertaining in this. I don't know. I'm just up here talking. So I'm also talking in an empty room. So I really don't know how good I'm doing. If you all want to comment on something you think that I should post a video about, that'd be cool. If not, also cool. Okay, so I'm Audi 3000. Me being an idiot, I actually did it.